Hello, it's the last week of April here in Brisbane. My name is Mikaela Mulveney.
And my name is Victoria Hunt, and this is Real World News. Here are your headlines.
Queensland coroners say that police protecting a violent criminal were not informed about his violent background. This contributed to Tyson Jesson's death while in police custody. Jesson was in Ipswich Hospital under police guard when he was shot.
In city news, the local Everton Park Library is finally getting a facelift. It's been over 3 decades since the last renovation, and this one is serious business. The new construction will include replacing the current building, adding computer and study spaces, and a new car park.
Billionaire Elon Musk is buying Twitter for $61 billion. Musk says he bought the company because it is not living up to its potential for free speech. He says he will also take the company private.
Uber admitted in court this week that it's been taking passengers for a ride. Apparently, Uber drivers have been cancelling trips and charging passengers anyway. This is the 3rd time in 5 years Uber has been caught doing something unsavoury, and now federal investigators want to fine the ride-sharing company $26 million.
In other transportation news, the City of Brisbane added a new electric bus to its metro fleet and will soon begin testing on several bus routes. Don't be surprised by its appearance. It's a long black bus that can hold up to 170 passengers, and it's 100% electric.
Those are your headlines. Checking the markets now, it's time to mind your business.
A host of blue-chip companies are set to release statements this week, among them Johnson & Johnson, Netflix and Lockheed Martin. This, as the global markets tap the brakes. Everyone agrees the economy is robust, but in the background, Australia's central bank just bumped up interest rates by 25 basis points. The bank hopes the rate hike will slow the economy down and warns that if inflation continues, it's prepared to raise the rates again. Of course, rate increases are not good news for homeowners because mortgage rates must also climb. One banker says the average homeowner could be paying an additional $300 a month by Australia Day. In tech news, billionaire Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion, and that news has many in the tech company scrambling for their exits. Musk says he bought the company hoping to improve its potential for free speech. But he's also looking at the bottom line, and that means layoffs. Tech billionaire Mike Cannon-Brookes became energy giants AGL's largest shareholder this week. After a rejected offer to purchase AGL, Cannon-Brookes informed the energy provider he had purchased 11% of their shares, allowing him an opportunity to vote against AGL's proposed breakup next month and transition to renewable energy. Finally, one tech giant is betting that the COVID-inspired home office is going to be the new normal. HP just announced a $3.3 billion bid for Poly, an audio headset manufacturer. Clearly, HP sees more Zoom calls in your near future. Checking the markets now, the Dow Jones Industrials are up by 84 points, the Nasdaq is up by 200 points, and the ASX 200 is down by 30 points. Those are your financial headlines. My name is Liliana Van Twest, and that was us minding your business. We'll see you next time.
After a week of heavy rains, we need to remember that this is storm season. Here's a look at your weather.
I'm Tatenda Chikokikiri, and this is your weather. Darwin, sunny with clouds, 36. Cairns, late thunderstorm, 31. Brisbane, sunny and 23. Sydney, expect some rain and 17. Canberra and Melbourne, both cold with chance of snow, 6. Hobart, snow and 5 degrees. Adelaide, morning drizzle but clearing, 14. Perth, warm and 25. And Alice Springs, sunny and hot, 35. And the outlook for Brisbane this weekend has cloudy on Friday and possible storm on Saturday, clearing to another glorious day on Sunday. I'm Tatenda Chikokikiri, and this was your weather. See you next time.
The Greater Public Schools League has just finished several sports seasons. Here's a look at your sports wrap-up.
Brisbane Greater Public School District wrapped up several sports seasons this week, including cricket, swimming and rowing. Brisbane Grammar School won the cricket premiership, defeating Brisbane Boys College in the final round. It's been over 9 years since the last time they finished atop the GPS League in cricket. Brisbane Grammar also dominated the league in swimming this season. They won 5 of the 9 showcase relay programs to win top honours. BGS also claimed 9 individual victories. Now turning to rowing, the GPS celebrated its 100th anniversary of the Head of the River, and the top rowing honours went to Brisbane Boys College. That's twice in 2 years that BBC took the O'Connor Cup. Finally, the GPS hosted its debating competition, and the Churchy debate team outmanoeuvred BGS and Brisbane State High to win its 3rd debate championship in a row. Those are your high school sports headlines. I'm Jordan Gibb, and this is Real World News. See you next time.
Hoping to encourage young people to launch new companies, the Queensland University of Technology just conveyed another round of entrepreneurial scholarships. Here's a conversation with one of those future business leaders.
Joining to me today is one of the past recipients of this scholarship, Kobe Lee, and she's developing a professional network for young entrepreneurs. Welcome, Kobe. So, first off, tell me a little bit about your project.
Yeah, so I'm a motivational writer and a bit of a public speaker at times. I've written books about young entrepreneurship and how to start a business in Australia.
That's fascinating. So, I know you've been pretty busy, especially before you got to QUT. You want to talk a little bit about what you did?
Yeah, so I've always been entrepreneurial from a very young age, always selling things, always trying to sell things to my family. It was around year 7 and 8 that I really started moving into a very entrepreneurial journey of writing books and upcycling succulents and selling them at car boot sales, which then eventually went to wholesales. So that was really nice in year 12.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So, what ultimately brought you to QUT?
So the scholarship brought me to QUT. I never wanted to go to university to begin with. It was a bit of a juggle in year 12, especially with COVID, because I was that year 12 cohort.
Of course.
I was writing a book for my school, and yeah, I found the scholarship.
Fair enough. Could you tell me a little bit about that book you're writing?
Yeah, so I wrote it in 2020. It's about starting a business as a young entrepreneur in Australia. So I interviewed a bunch of young entrepreneurs from all over Australia, which was great during 2020. And yeah, so it's a year 12 project. It doesn't go towards anything. It's just part of the philosophy of my school. And so it just aligned with the scholarship.
That's very interesting. So, once you got to QUT, what did you start doing?
Lots of things. I did a lot more than a typical first year. A lot of people kept asking me when I'm graduating.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of speaking with QUT Entrepreneurship in the Foundry and talking in a few lectures and ambassador work, being flown out to Cairns to teach entrepreneurship with the STEM ambassadors, which was fun. And yeah, lots of things.
Fantastic. Now, you're working on a project right now. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm working on my latest project of starting a young entrepreneurs network in Australia for essentially, young entrepreneurs.
Yep.
It's very new, it's very in the making. There's only about 40 plus people in it at the moment, so still baby steps.
Yep.
It's very exciting. There's lots of really cool entrepreneurs on there, some big guys as well, so that should hopefully kick off over the year.
That's fantastic. And what exactly are you hoping to accomplish with this network?
So I'm trying to provide support for young entrepreneurs, much like the little entrepreneur I was back in the day when there was no support, no one to tell me. It was all just American businessmen telling me how to start a business, and that wasn't very useful for a teenage girl in Australia. And so I'm hoping to build this network to be able to provide a space and opportunity for these kids.
That's fascinating. Well, I guess what's next for Kobe Lee?
Lots of things. Hopefully an exchange. I'm hoping to go to MIT next year and maybe even Rome. I don't want to stay in the same spot. If I'm going to be busy, I may as well make myself even more busy.
That's fair enough.
And yeah, hopefully there's lots of exciting things around the corner.
Well, that's fantastic. And that's all the time we have. I'd like to thank our guest, Kobe Lee, for joining us today. My name is Spencer Wallace, and this is Real World News. See you next time.
Now that COVID restrictions have lifted, the City of Brisbane has a new spring in its step. Reporter Brooke Tyndall has this report on the new swing dancing movement.
Now that COVID restrictions have been eased in Brisbane, people are finding new ways to socialise and become more active members of the community. Swing dancing is becoming increasingly popular in this post-COVID time, and I'm here at Empire Swing in Paddington to find out why. It may seem like something of the past, but this dance studio in Paddington is proving swing dancing is making a comeback and it can be enjoyed by everyone.
I think it's the fun, the energy. It's just such an exciting dance, and it appeals to so many different age groups. So I think that's the best part about swing dancing.
Last week, the Queensland Government announced that all COVID restrictions are to be eased this coming Thursday, including the vaccine requirements. This is great news for places like Empire Swing, where COVID restrictions have made things difficult over the past 2 years.
I faced a lot of challenges because I had my first 8-week block within COVID, and so it's that stop-start coming back, trying to remember what you've learned. I think that's really hard because you don't get to be in classes and you're having to wear masks, and yet you're trying to engage with a partner you hardly know, and so you don't get to see facial expressions and really get to connect as much.
We're a partner dance, so it was hard to get together, but we also had the ability to look for other ways to present our dance. So we were doing online classes and coming back into classes with COVID, with like how do we work within maintaining a safe space.
As we start to adapt to the new normal, experts say it's important we continue to socialise and meet new people. Nicola B., a psychology tutor from the Queensland University of Technology, says it's extremely important to socialise at this time as post-COVID social anxiety and stress is prevalent. For many people at Empire Swing, swing dancing is a way for them to feel a part of the community again.
So now COVID's passing, we're getting out and we're seeing people more face-to-face. We've got socials running around Brisbane. So the ability for people to get back together and actually do stuff face-to-face is great.
And it's not only Empire Swing that is proving the dance style is making a comeback. Brisbane has its own community swing dancing Facebook page with over 1.3 thousand members of all ages, making it clear that swing dancing is definitely not just something of the past. What do you say to people who think that swing dancing is dated?
Come and try it. I think for a longest time, was like, is it just a bunch of old people? And it really isn't. I'm one of the youngest here, and I absolutely love it. I think it's got amazing and valuable skills. It's a worldwide dance, and now even in Brisbane, we have 3 schools popping up just because we've got the intake of students, so it's really important, and it's definitely not outdated at all.
Empire Swing runs classes in Paddington on a Monday night and Wavell Heights on a Wednesday, and a social event once a month. I'm Brooke Tyndall. This was Real World News. See you next time.
That's the news here in Brisbane. My name is Mikaela Mulveney.
And my name is Victoria Hunt. This is Real World News. See you next time.